everyone, welcome back to Ace Run Disc Golf.
Today we're gonna walk through some of our coolest discs, our most sentimental discs, our most aesthetic discs. Basically, it's the middle of winter here and it's too cold to actually go outside and play, so we're gonna talk about our favorite discs.
Yeah, a little disc golf story time.
Exactly.
See how you guys like it. So at some point we wanted to do a complete, here's all the Frisbees that we own video. That will be quite a bit of work. And honestly, most of them are factory seconds and it'll be like, hey, look, I threw this once.
Here's 7 Shrikes. They're all-star plastic.
So instead, we selected just a smaller portion, and that's what we'll be going through today. So Serena, you wanna?
I'll start off. You'll kind of get the vibe for what we're gonna talk about. This is a newer one to the collection. This is an Owen Scoggins Leopard 3, signed by Owen, that Charles went and got signed for me this year at Ledgestone. I was having a really bad time at the Disc Mart, and I was in a really bad mood, and he went and waited in line and got this signed for me. And now it stays in a special little display with one other disc of mine. I like the Leopard 3, but I'm not gonna throw this one because it's too cool. So this is a sentimental keepsake disc.
Definitely a difference between you and I. I would throw it, even though it's signed.
He's like, I'll throw everything, but I have a majority of the discs in these piles are discs that I keep on display at different places because they have a story or they're from an accomplishment and things like that.
Grumpy Serena not going to go get the signature and then me doing it. It was pretty funny.
Everyone was like, go stand in line, go meet Owen. And I was just like, if you've played in a big tournament, after a round and it's not a good round, sometimes you just need some space, and that's where I was.
Next one that we'll talk about is probably a little bit cooler now than it was at the time. This is a Discmania MD1. It came from a Discmania mystery box. It was a special one.
Yeah, in the secret compartment.
Yeah, but it has Kyle Klein, Eagle, and Simon on the stamp, and obviously Eagle and Simon no longer with Discmania.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, it was a 15-year anniversary type of disc, so they really hyped it up. I threw it for a little bit, got an ace with it.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then, didn't really throw much
So
after
it's super valuable.
Yes.
Okay, these two are kind of a pack. The channel never saw this. I mentioned it and then proceeded to not edit the vlog. So let me know if you guys want this vlog because I have all the footage,
Wait, what?
I went to Am Worlds and I played in it. And these are discs that I got in the players pack. It was quite an experience, but I will always cherish these discs because it still feels like such an accomplishment to qualify for that and go play in that event. So these are just a couple of them. This one is an IT. It's super lightweight. I think they put it in there for the juniors. Yeah. It's basically unthrowable for me,
unthrowable.
But it is so gorgeous. And then this one's just a Lone Star disc, which I think is the only Lone Star disc we own.
Definitely,
so. Yeah, never got around to editing that Worlds vlog. Let me know if you guys want to see it.
That has to be a banger, right? That was such a
It was. Week. Let me just drop this teaser. I played 2.5 rounds in 24 hours. That's all I'll say there.
All right, I want this released. I vote yes. All right, up next we have a Paul Macbeth prototype driver. At the time, this was called a Kong. Then it became the Zeus. Which is weird that he went from Kong to, then he started doing all the Greek or Roman names. But we found this randomly. Thought it was cool that it was a prototype. And then also this might have been our first time ever dyeing anything.
It was one of the earliest ones, and honestly one of the best.
I think it looks pretty good.
Turnout. So.
Don't like the disc at all for throwing purposes, but.
I honestly don't even know if I've ever thrown that one, but anything that's a prototype, especially having to do with Paul Macbeth, is pretty sick.
Well, then I like how we
we definitely degraded it. Yeah, no, we ruined it. Although maybe it's more valuable now because it's an Ace Run collector item as well.
Maybe in a couple of years.
All right, this disc is a Metal Flake Challenger. And it's probably not that special except for that the Ledgestone team sent this to me for being an ambassador. And they sent it essentially at the end of their ambassadorship program. So I was an ambassador for them the last year that they ever did ambassadors. And they were basically like, here you guys go, have some extra discs. Thanks for doing this. We're not gonna do it anymore.
That was your getting fired present, right?
It pretty much is, but
fun.
Pretty cool. And we love when a brand sends us free discs.
All right, this next one's kind of lame in nature. This is a ruin from Infinite.
It's upside down.
But I've always loved their parachute penguin stamp. And also, I believe this came out of the first ever mystery box that we did.
I think so. Also, for some reason for me, this is like, the color scheme on this one speaks to my soul. I keep calling it the pink lemonade disc.
I mean, it's pink and it's yellow.
You guys will probably be like, that's a boring disc. I don't know, it scratches something in my brain. All right, this is a new one, but it's going on my shelf because this is sick. This is an Evelina 2024 World Champ Destroyer, and I like supporting the female pro Tour Series discs. Catch me out here buying all of them. And we watched her actually win, and I remember watching him, we were kind of like holding our breath. I think a lot of people were watching that.
Oh yeah.
Waiting to see if the putts were gonna fall and if she was still gonna win. So it's a fun thing to commemorate.
Right, here we have another Ledgestone disc. This is a Zone. This is from the, does it say the year? Or do you remember?
It's my first year, so 2020,
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's cool because it has the water tower stamp on it. And then the names of all the parks.
I'll get it really close so you guys can kind of see, but it says all the courses that were played on there. And now there's a lot more courses, but it's also like kind of the main courses from our hometown.
Yeah,
that's
that's it. So like I grew up playing disc golf in the Peoria area. So it's like all the places I played growing up and stuff. So it's cool just to have it on
It's
a
like
disc.
someone made us a personal commemorative
Kind of,
disc.
yeah.
This is a Buzz, and this one is fun because this is a women's world championship disc. I did not get it there, but instead I got it at Ledgestone, and me and my mom actually have matching Buzzes. So I got a blue one and she got an orange one, and we both have these gorgeous. It's a jawbreaker, but then it also has this really pretty floral stamp because it was for the women's event.
This one is a Dynamic Discs Patrol. Nothing special to look at, but this came from a Trilogy Challenge pack. That was my first ever tournament I played, I think. Didn't do great, but whatever. But also, I freaking love this disc. It's so good.
It's
and now I don't
super
think they
unique.
make it anymore.
It's discontinued.
Yeah.
Can't buy it anymore. If you guys have watched my In the Bags, you know that it's been in my bag for the last 3 years, I think. And I think I'm kicking it out.
Which means it might go back into mine.
Which means it should go on the shelf, because if it goes in Charles's bag, it will end up lost.
Hey, it was in there for a couple of years.
And then I took care of it, and that's why it's still around. Now this is a disc that you will also have seen in, I think, at least one of my In the Bags. Looking at it from here, you can't tell what the heck this is, cause it's super old and it got lost in a creek for a little bit. This is a Pro Orc, and it is one of the most beautiful woods discs in the world. It's a flippy orc. We tried to buy new orcs and they're absolute beefcake unthrowable. This is a beautiful disc.
All right, this is just another old one that was sitting in my basement for a while. It's actually a pre-flight number Champion Coyote. I love the feel of it. I've tried to put it in the bag several times, but it doesn't fly well enough to warrant losing an old cool disc that
Not worth the risk. So you found one disc that you believe is not worth the risk.
I don't know, but also like I remember throwing this like as a literal child and things like that. So it's been around. It's got some memories too.
This is kind of similar vibes, okay? Because this, I'm pretty sure, is the first disc that I ever picked off of a shelf in a store for myself. This is a Berg. I bagged it for a while. I do not bag it anymore. But something about this plastic and like the oil slick stamp, it's still such an aesthetic disc, and it's special to me because it was my first purchase.
Next two I'll do is a combo as well. And this is mainly just off of looks. A Jawbreaker Zone with this little Tommy Kitty stamp on it, which is just adorable.
He's so peaceful, but definitely wishing violence upon others.
Loved that disc through for a long time. And then this is a Champion Valkyrie, also with one of our earlier die experiments on it with the little Jedi symbol on it.
Pretty sick.
I think this is probably one of my better looking ones with like an actual design.
Yeah. This is a buzz. It's a midnight crystal buzz, and it's from my first ever Ledgestone. I have never thrown this disc because I told myself that essentially I was going to keep buying buzzes with every year that I play Ledgestone and like have a little collection. And I think that I've successfully done that, but this one is my most sentimental because it's from the first one, which is like a big part of this channel and how all this started.
Yeah, that's true.
This one's very special, and I also was hoping that they were gonna keep putting out these cool crystal stamps each year,
so you could have one.
So I could have the but they haven't made those again. So Ledgestone, if you want to make a crystal stamp buzz again, I'd be very pleased.
I think this is a DX AVR, but it's an ice bowl from 2020.
Yep.
And this was one that Serena and I played together. Took down the dub.
Our first ever win.
My only ever win.
Oh.
It's
gonna be me.
I'm not the tournament guy. But yes, so just like a memento from us playing in the ice bowl and winning together.
Pretty sick.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And I honestly think that event, even though it was us playing against one other team in the division and we knew them, it made me be like, hey, I'm okay at disc golf. I could play more tournaments.
Was that your first tournament?
Yeah. This one, this disc, this is a Comet from Discraft, and very similar story to a lot of the ones in here. This is from my first ever Ledgestone, except for this one, my dad actually went and bought me. My dad is now getting into disc golf as well. At the time, he didn't play and he didn't really know anything about disc golf, and I think he just went up to one of the tents and bought me whatever looked cool, and I keep this on the shelf because I like to remember it as well. This last one I think is the coolest, and I think you guys will agree. Now, I'm a buzz boy, so I'm partial, but this really has everything going for it. This is honestly my prized possession. That the camera's not washing it out, but this is a pastry dye buzz that Charles got for me, basically for putting up with his school.
Yeah.
Because he went through a really stressful time, like halfway through, and he got me a present for dealing with it, which is great.
I had a big exam that I passed, so I gave her a present.
I like this. This is also cool because it's a Chris Dickerson signed buzz with just honestly the most beautiful die in the world. You guys just need a moment to look at this. A moment of silence. Yeah, this disc is never being thrown. I keep it in my office and it sits with all my plants and it just looks pretty and makes me happy. So those are all our cool discs. Let us know which ones are your favorite.
Or if we should do all of our frisbees.
Yeah, let us know if you want to see that. Also, you guys, you need to let us know if you like our new Ace Run studio. We're clearly upping the production budget here, okay? So let us know how much you love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you again very soon.